And welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Dual Destinies! We are in the middle of Case 4, Trial Day 2, and Wright is about to go and claim Cosmos for hiding more information and probably accusing him as a suspect. And blah blah. Stuff like that. Alright, let's go. Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? That would be Mr. Cosmos.
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all. But that means... Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos! Bruh! What? What?! Holy shit! Order! Order in the court, I say! Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and... saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. Gah! I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir! A magnificent shot!
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship! Prepare to intercept! Cosmos, you have told a lie in this court once again. I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy has called in reinforcements! Earth to Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence!
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. Ugh. If Director Cosmos is the third person or Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun, and in return the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival! Yes, you're absolutely correct! The mystery person fired upon us! Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of prevalence than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Urgh. Brace for further impact! Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. What am I presenting? I know I have to do something with Detective Arms and the bullet, but what exactly am I presenting? This bullet. Yes, this bullet. The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricocheted mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. Ah! The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship! If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the .10 caliber bullet. In other words, if it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again! It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth! If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar,
Then accept your fate and tell the truth!
giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center! Ah! But the cosmos revolves around me! Oh my god. Ah! Someone get me off this thing! Oh boy. Order! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Oh dear god. Is that are we good? Director Cosmos, please. Oh, thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the Earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Ugh! Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong! This is just a misunderstanding! Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. I was about to say big fat liar. Been playing too much Exilia. To be continued! Which is literally right now, so, No. Okay, bye. Rah, 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 rah. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Ah, forgive me. I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for their killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm pretending to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am! When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness! Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me! I saw the person as well! If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall.
That is an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover Mr. Starbuck.
Still, a lie's a lie, Athena.
So, Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit. But where's the proof?
Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and... Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate with me. The director is not fibbing in the court, for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m.? And that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an Earthling.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. Witness testimony! As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So you were shot at the killer as well, and then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. His metal?
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember?
Right. What a mess this is turning into. So, let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him.
Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it.
And then the killer disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too.
Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate, but what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from the scene and had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle of the ages, indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Spaceboy himself. If he was spotted by a director and aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter-evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up.
Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord.
Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him.
You got it, boss! I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind! Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me!
That is so cheesy. Okay, we're supposed to hit the part where he's talking about the Launchpad 1 and seemed really confused at that part. Yeah, why are you sat here?
Got it!
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the Launchpad door. The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And on what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. Oh, I'm most certainly not! Director Cosmos! There's something about the Launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Ah! Wow,
he's speechless. It looks like he hit the nail on the head, boss. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him.
Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Alright, and then we go to the part where he's, disappearing? Or is it this one? There we go. Why aren't you surprised by this? Got it! You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did! That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet at the same time, you barely register any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... Ugh. I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No! Of course not! That's preposterous! Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Tarrant, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it, as you recall, right after I entered the lounge. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
I'll just input those 2 pieces of data, and... yes! Just what I wanted to see! Presto changeo! Less discord! It looks like we're on the right track!
Thanks, Thana. Now it makes sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When you put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. I think I've solved this puzzle without a hit coin. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? We're going to pinpoint the launch pad 1 corridor.
Take that!
The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes! I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! A master tactician, you are not.
But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it?
True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the launch pad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But that door requires fingerprint recognition! Only Starbuck, Tarrant, and I have access! I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Oop. Starbuck! Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Welp! Ah! It looks like he does have something to hide from the Launchpad 1, about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Oh, yes, by all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would have been solved. What do you think of my logic? Very sound, except for the fact that, there's nothing after that, but kudos for trying, Judge. I hope you didn't strain your facilities too much for that, your baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point. Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa Baldness. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild?
I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world.
Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you enter the lounge? If I must. Alright, there should be some new stuff coming in here. Ah, here we go. But that's when the detective arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me! Oh, the horror! But why aren't you that surprised? Got it! Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Quiet! I must think like Gendo. Sadly, even a great man such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were... more surprised when Arm came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Good! The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being the fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon! Commence operation! Hide under your desk! Ah! Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Nope. Nope.
Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launchpad door.
And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape.
I wonder what it could be.
If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after.
Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is a footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge.
Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos! What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous! If you really do have an answer, you have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. Well, this little knobby hippy doobie thingy.
Take that!
The answer is this knob. Nah! That's... Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at that knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. And what does that mean? It means that something between before the director arrived and after. Someone turned this knob. Ah! After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Yeah! Fine, I admit it! Fine! Ah! Life is suffering. You're right! I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions. So I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what?
Hey, didn't Pongo tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it moves to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first.
I guess that clears up what that knob is for.
Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along the launch pad to the launch site?
I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor.
So then, where did the killer escape to?
I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. But listen carefully, for I am about to give a history-making testimony. That's what you said, like, about the beginning of your stupid testimony. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. I feared there might be more explosions. So I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. Whoa, why are you angry there? But the area was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could he have gone? I don't know, but you seem pretty angry here. Also, wait. Hold on. Going back. Why are you happy here? You know what? I'm gonna go with this first. And that was right. Cool. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. Ah! How did you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Because he's the protagonist.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology.
Sounds more like manipulation. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Ah! How do you know about that too? Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. Right, please. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So there! I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
Integrity, huh? You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest bare-faced liar an honor. Liar?! words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you, immediately following the bombing. Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? The liar!
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad?
Well, we're gonna find out if he moved it or not in the next video, huh? It should be the last one for this case too, thankfully. Very short case, isn't it? I'll talk to you guys later. See you in the next video. Huh?